foundation, and in this we'll start with the introduction. In situation where soil at shallow depth is poor, in order to transmit load safely, the depth of foundation has to be increased till the suitable soil strata is met. In view of increased depth, such foundations are called D foundation. Well foundation, pile foundation and pair foundation are D foundations. ठीक है, तो जब भी हम डी फाउंडेशन की बात करेंगे बेसिकली वी आर मोर ऑलरेडी वी आर फेमिलियर विद द शैलो फाउंडेशन वेयर वी आर यूजिंग shallow foundation at a shallow depth. Means when your stratum is good in terms of its bearing capacity, then we are using shallow foundation. But in case where we are not having soil at shallow depth, that is not having enough bearing capacity to hold the amount of load that is coming over it, so in that case we are using this deep foundation, right? So the example of deep foundation includes well foundation, pile foundation and pier foundation, right? So we'll discuss each foundation one by one in our later classes. Like well foundation, I hope you are familiar with the well foundation. In case where we have to establish bridge in near the sea or near the oceans, there we are using this type of foundation known as well foundation, where a pier is installed over the footing, right? And then in case of pile foundation, the load transfer is through the skin friction effect and the end bearing effect, right? And the pier foundation is a kind of foundation where the load transmit is through pairs to the footing and from footing to the underlying soil, right? So what basically we mean by this term pile? So pile is basically a small diameter shaft which can be driven or installed into ground, right? So when I am saying it is driven into the ground, means I will hammer it and drive inside the soil mass. And when I am saying installed into the ground, there what I will be doing, I will be excavating the soil mass and then I'll filling that excavated region with the concrete, right? So our pile will get installed into the ground. Whereas pier and well foundation are large diameter shaft constructed by excavation and sunk to the required depth, right? So when I am saying pier foundation or well type foundation, these are basically the large diameter shafts. So when I am saying shafts, means it is basically a circular type of section that is having a large diameter, and it is constructed basically by the excavating the soil mass and sunk to the required depth. So when I am saying sunk to the required depth, that means well foundation, right? So well foundation, basically that well type of foundation is sunk into the soil mass, right? From water to the soil mass. So these type of foundation we'll be discussing in later classes. Now, how the piles are classified? So piles are basically classified in a number of ways based on different criteria. First, material and composition. Second, mode of transfer of load. Third, method of installation. Fourth, function or area or action. Fifth is your displacement of soil, right? So when I am classifying the pile, I will be classifying pile based on its material and composition. So when I am saying material and composition, means either it will be a timber pile made up of timber. हाँ बच्चों, तुम लोग क्या करो ना, अपना जो वो है उसे म्यूट, हाँ उसको ना म्यूट करके रखो. अगर म्यूट करके रखोगे then it will be easy for me to deliver the lecture ना, because the interrupted sound is coming in between, that is distracting me from, है ना? तो आप लोग उसको वो कर दीजिए, म्यूट कर दीजिए अपना जो वो है. So when we are classifying the pile, basically we are classifying pile based on material and composition. अरे यार, तुम लोगों की आवाज आ रही है बच्चों, पीछे से आओ.
सर आप अपने एंड से सबको म्यूट कर दो, आप अपने म्यूट कर दो अगर हो पाता है तो.
ठीक है, मैं यहाँ से म्यूट करता हूँ. Classifying pile based on material and composition. So when I am saying material and composition, basically I'll be discussing about the timber pile, where the pile is made up of timber. When I am saying steel pile, means the pile is made up of steel. And when I am saying concrete pile, means the pile is constructed with the help of concrete. Composite piles, where we are using either in conjunction of concrete and timber, or it can be timber or concrete, means conjunction of two type of piles will come under this category of composite pile, right? So now the classification based on the mode of transfer of load. So when I am saying the mode of transfer of load, either it will be the end bearing piles, friction pile, or the combined end bearing and friction pile. In case of end bearing pile, the load transfer is through the pile tip to the suitable bearing stratum, passing the soft soil or water, right? So in case when your pile is installed into in soft soil or in case of water, so the load transfer mechanism will be through the pile tip to the suitable bearing stratum. When I'm saying suitable bearing stratum means the soil that is lying below the pile tip. Next is our friction pile, right? So when we are saying friction piles means the load transfer will be through the friction effect. When we are driving pile inside the soil mass, so when we are driving pile inside the soil mass, the adjoining soil will try to resist due to friction effect. The pile means the soil will try to resist the driving action of pile inside the soil mass. So there comes the friction effect, right? So such piles are known as friction piles. Friction piles are also called as floating piles as they do not reach the hard stratum, right? So when the load transfer mechanism is through friction, so in that case we will not be considering the end bearing effect, means the pile will resist the load through friction, that is from its sides. Now combined end bearing and friction pile. When I am saying combined end bearing and friction piles means the load transfer is through the end bearing effect as well as friction effect, right? In this case, the pile will get installed into the ground deep below the ground surface. Classification based on method of installation. In this, we'll be discussing about the driven piles, board and cast in situ piles, driven and cast in situ piles, jack piles, and screw piles. In case of driven piles, we are having timber piles, steel piles, and precast concrete piles. So when I am saying precast concrete piles means they are already casted in a factory where we are using concrete and we are constructing piles. So that's why they are called as precast piles. Now, the timber piles, steel pile, or the precast concrete piles may be driven into the position either vertically or at an inclination. So, such piles are known as driven piles. When we are in driving pile inside the soil mass in a vertical fashion or with some inclination, such piles are known as driven piles. Now, if they are inclined, they are called as better or raking piles. So, in case when your piles are driven with with an inclination to the vertical, such piles are basically known as better pile or raking pile. See, this point is very important, very important, because in many competitive exams they are asking this point. Like in case when your pile is driven at some inclination, so we are calling such piles head, or the piles can be called as better pile, raking pile, or some different type of options will be given in your paper. So you must be marking this as the correct option, like better or raking piles. Now, pile hammer and pile driving equipment are used for driving piles. So, the instrument basically that is helpful for driving pile inside the soil mass are pile hammers and pile driving equipments, right? We'll be discussing about this in our dynamic load formulas. Now, board and cast in situ piles. Only concrete piles can be cast in situ, right? So, timber pile cannot be casted inside, right? So the only concrete pile can be cast in situ as are drilled and filled with concrete. So when I'm saying board and cast in situ piles, board means you are doing boring, right? Means inside the soil mass you are excavating the soil mass, and then you are filling that excavated region with the concrete, thereby creating a concrete pile inside the soil mass. That's why they are called as cast in situ. Means at site you are casting the pile. These are straight board piles or under-rimmed with one or more bulbs at intervals. Reinforcement is used according to the requirements, right? So these piles are basically straight board piles, right? Or it can be an under-rimmed section. Under-rimmed means you will be creating a bulb. You will be creating a bulb inside the soil mass. I will be explaining you the construction of under-rimmed pile in my later classes, where I'll be discussing about the reinforcement requirement inside the soil mass and the amount of concrete that is to be filled inside the hole, for the construction of this underreamed, and we'll be discussing about the ultimate load carrying capacity of underreamed section inside the soil mass. Now, the driven and cast in situ piles. A closed end casing or a shell is driven into the ground. Later casing is filled with concrete. Example, Frankie piles. So in this case, basically, what we are doing, we are putting a casing inside the soil mass and we are filling it with concrete, right? And that clay closed end casing is there inside the soil mass, right? Such piles are known as Frankie piles. Now, jack piles. These are piles driven into the soil by means of a hydraulic jack, right? So, hydraulic jack mechanism is used for driving the pile inside the soil, right? In case of jack piles. Now, screw piles. These piles are screwed into the soil by means of hydraulic jack, right? So, such kind of piles that are screwed inside the soil mass by usage of hydraulic jack comes under the screw pile category, right? So we are having these many types of pile like driven piles, bored and cast in situ pile, driven and cast in situ piles, jack piles, screw piles. The see the top three are very important. Top three are very important, and they are asked in several exams. Now classification based on function or action. Now based on function and action, we will be classifying piles like load bearing piles, tension or uplift piles, compaction pile, anchor pile, fender pile, sheet pile, better piles, right? So we are having these type of pile. So when I'm saying load bearing piles means they are used to transfer the load of structure to a suitable stratum by end bearing, by friction or by both, right? So load bearing piles means they will be used for the transferring of load through skin friction, through end friction, or by the combination of skin friction and end bearing. Now tension or uplift piles. Tension or uplift piles are basically used in case where we have to anchor the structure subjected to uplift due to hydrostatic pressure or overturning moment due to horizontal forces, right? So most of the time it happens when your structure is subjected to uplift force. In that case, when you want to resist your structure from uplift forces, you have to anchor your structure, right? So that your structure may not get uplifted by the action of forces like hydrostatic pressure, or due to some overturning moment due to horizontal forces, or due to some unbalanced forces resulting in moment and there is an uplift. So in order to resist such action of forces, we are using tension or uplift file, right? In this case, friction get mobilized in the downward direction. Like in case of friction piles, when you are driving pile inside the soil mass, the friction of underlying soil will act in upward direction. But in case of uplift pile or tension pile, the friction get mobilized in the downward direction, opposite to the friction piles. Now, compaction piles, as the name itself is signifying, like compaction pile means these piles are basically used to compact the loose granular soil in order to increase the bearing capacity, right? So most of the time, it arises like we have to compact the soil. So how we'll compact the soil? We are using such type of piles known as compaction pile, where we are driving pile inside the ground mass by the action of hammers or hydraulic jack. Thereby, we are compacting the loose granular soil to increase the bearing capacity. Now, as they are not required to carry any load, the material required may be strong. In fact, sand may be used to form the pile, right? So, compaction piles basically they are not taking any sort of load above it. So, their material also may not be that much strong. So, in this case, what we are using sand to form the pile, right? And that sand is basically compacted to compact the nearby area of ground. Now, pile tube driven to compact the soil is gradually taken out and sand is filled in its place and forming a required pile known as sand pile, right? So in this case, what we are doing basically, we are putting pile tube inside the ground mass, and in that pile tube we are filling it with sand, right? And that sand is basically compacting the nearby soil mass. So such type of pile is known as sand piles. Now, the anchor piles. Anchor piles are basically used to provide anchorage against horizontal pull from water or sheet piling, right? So most of the time it happens like there is pull from water, or when we are putting sheet inside the soil mass known as sheet piling. So in order to anchor such type of anchor the structure from the horizontal pull, what we are doing, we are putting some anchorage. So such type of piles that are used for anchorage for the horizontal pull from water or sheet piling, such piles are known as anchor piles. Now the fender piles used to protect waterfront structures against impact from ship and other floating objects. So I hope you all are familiar with the seashore areas where your ships are near the seashore area, so that in order that your ships may not damage such seashore areas or the nearby areas, what they are using fender pile to protect the waterfront structures against impact from ships. Now sheet piles used as bulkheads or cut off to reduce seepage and uplift in hydraulic structures. So I hope you all have read about the sheet piles in your geotechnical engineering one, where a dam, if it is constructed, so in that case we have seen two type of failure. One is your piping failure and is your overall failure, like at the toe failure. So in that case, what we are doing, like in case where your piping failure is there, we are using sheet piles in the upstream end, right? So that your piping may, your the length of piping may increase, so that there may not be any piping failure. So in case of reducing seepage or uplift in the hydraulic structure, we are using this sheet piles. Now the better piles. Better piles are used to resist horizontal and inclined forces, especially in waterfront structures. So better piles are basically the inclined one and a horizontal one, and uh, they are not basically the inclined piles. Basically, they are the straight piles only, like vertical piles, but they are used to resist the horizontal or any inclined forces, especially in waterfront structures. Right now, see, this is an example of better pile, right? Where the pile is installed, used to raise a horizontal incline, especially. Okay, so this is better pile, right? Installed at some inclination and like driven at an angle. This is a structure like a dam is there, and this is your better pile. Now this is your tension pile and this is your compaction pile. Most of the time it happens like there is an overturning at this particular portion, right? This is an overturning, means this will this will get down and this will move up. So in order to resist this upward movement, this pile is basically resisting the force in the downward direction. So such piles are known as tension pile. But in this case, when you are this top plate, or we can say pile cap, your pile cap is moving down. So in order to resist this downward movement, this pile is basically resisting the forces that is coming above it in the vertical upward direction. So such piles are known as compressive pile, because this pile is coming under compression and this pile is coming under tension. So this pile is known as tension pile and this pile is known as compressive pile. Now in this case that I was discussing about the anchor pile, right? So this is your bulkhead or a concrete mass that is laid inside the ground, and this is your this is your sheet pile. In order to anchor this sheet pile by this action of active force or the ground forces, the pile is basically the anchoring this structure. So this pile is known as anchor pile. Now, moving on to the classification based on displacement of soil, right? Now we are classifying piles based on the displacement of soil. Displacement pile, right? Or non-displacement pile, right? So the pile that is basically displacing the soil mass during its installation, that is known as displacement pile. Non-displacement pile means there will be no displacement of soil mass during the installation of pile. Now, it has been observed that the best way of classification is based on the effect of installation on the soil, right? Now we are classifying piles based on the effect of installation inside the soil mass. Now, if during the installation a large volume of soil is displaced laterally or upward, is called displacement pile. Now, when you are inserting pile inside the ground mass, it is quite obvious that there will be displacement of soil mass. So if your soil is displacing laterally or upward, or there is a displacement of soil mass, then we are calling such piles as displacement pile. In loose sand, such as a pile densifies the sand up to a distance of 3.5 times the diameter of pile measured from the center of pile. The compaction leads to the increase in shearing resistance within the zone of influence, right? So in case of your displacement pile, so when I'm saying displacement pile, you must remember this point, like when a pile is displacing the soil mass, then it will compact up to 3.5 times the diameter. Means that region will get densified up to 3.5 times the diameter, where d is the diameter of pile shaft. In case of clays, large displacement piles remold the soil to a distance of twice the diameter of piles, right? So in case of clays, the pile will densify the soil up to twice the diameter of pile shaft. But in case of sand, it will densify up to 3.5 times the diameter of pile. So these 2 points you must remember, right? During pile driving, high pore water pressure are set up around the pile. Soil regains its strength only after a period of time when excess pore water pressure is dissipated. So this point basically highlights, like when you are driving pile inside the soil mass, it is quite obvious the soil will be in your saturated state. So when you are driving pile inside the soil mass, thus pore water pressure will try to get dissipate, or there will be a generation of pore water pressure inside the soil mass, due to which the soil will lose its strength, right? But that strength will be regained after a period of time when your entire pore water pressure get dissipated. Now, the driven piles are preferred in loose to medium sands and are less preferred in case of clays and dense sand. Example of large displacement piles are. So the point states basically these driven pile where we'll be using, or the question may comes like where you will be using the driven pile. So driven pile are basically preferred in loose to medium sand and less preferred in case of clays and dense sand, right? So when we are having loose to medium sand, we'll be using driven piles, right? But in case of clays, we are not using this driven pile just because there will be generation of pore water pressure inside the soil mass. And in case of dense sand, we are not using this driven pile. Now, the example of large displacement piles are like a driven cast in situ piles, right? Then driven pre-stressed piles, steel piles, and timber piles, right? So when I'm saying driven cast in situ pile means, cast in situ means they are casted at site only. And why they are calling as a driven cast in situ? Because we are driving those piles. Now, driven pre-stress pile means by the action of pre-stressing, we are constructing our pile and we are driving inside the soil mass. That's why they are called as driven pre-stressed pile. Steel piles means the pile section is made up of steel. Timber pile means the pile section is made up of timber. And steel pile and timber pile comes under this category of driven piles. Now, rolled steel section piles. I hope you all are familiar with the rolled sections in your steel structures. You have read about this rolled steel section where we are having H section or different I section, different type of sections. So those sections means the piles are made of those section, like either it will be H shaped or I shaped. Screw piles are open-ended hollow section, like there will be a square type of pile that is hollow from inside. So such type of piles are basically known as a small displacement pile because they are displacing piles and having their smaller effect on the soil. Small displacement pile are used when ground displacement and ground disturbance are to be minimized. So these type of piles are basically used where we have adjoining structures nearby and we don't want the disturbance of soil mass to reach those areas. So there we are using small displacement piles. Now non-displacement pile. Non-displacement piles means there will be no displacement of soil during your installation. In such piles, voids are formed into the soil by boring or excavation, and then voids are filled with concrete. Like I was telling you earlier, there is an excavation of soil inside the soil mass, and then we are filling it with concrete. So in this case, there will be no displacement of soil nearby. So such type of piles are known as non-displacement piles. Sides of the void can be supported either permanently by casing or temporarily by using bentonite slurry, right? So it is quite obvious when you are excavating soil, right? When you are excavating soil, there are high chances that your excavated region or the walls of excavated region get collapsed, right? So in order to protect the walls from collapse, what we are doing basically, we are putting casing or casing, and these casings are put it on a permanent basis also, or they can be